What position group concerns you the most for the Cincinnati Bengals? Obviously, they've got lots of areas of their team that they need to address. But let me know what you guys think. What position group concerns you the most? Is it edge rusher? Is it linebacker? Is it safety? Is it corner? Is it offensive line? Let me know regardless in the comments right now. Here we go. Welcome in to Bengals Breakdown. I am your host, Stone Shields, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be breaking down some Bengals team needs. They got 6 of them that we are going to discuss here on today's show. And the first one, I think, is defensive end. Now, I have ranked these. I have kind of floated around some, ordering here. At times I've come on here and said offensive line is the number one team need. But right now, I was feeling like going with defensive end. Obviously, in this position room, right now, you're dealing with Trey Hendrickson and Joseph Ossai as your main 2 guys. But the elephant in the room, of course, is what the heck is going to happen with Trey Hendrickson, right? Are you going to be able to reach a long-term agreement? Are you just kind of going to try to let it ride? Is he going to hold out games? What exactly is going to happen? You're bringing back Joseph Ossai on a 1-year deal, which I did not think was the right call. Hopefully I am wrong and Cincinnati is right. You got some depth behind him. Really like Cedric Johnson, your 6th-round pick out of Ole Miss. Miles Murphy, you're kind of holding on to hope that he can show something for you, right? Former first-round pick. You also got Cam Sample and Isaiah Thomas in there at this point as well. Look, it's clear you don't ever want to draft a position over a player, but you got to get an edge early, like within the first 3 rounds. You got 6 picks right now. Within the first 3, I think you got to take somebody that can get after the quarterback. And remember, if Trey Hendrickson, if you're in a situation where he's holding out, right, or isn't on your football team, it's a massive issue because it was arguably the weakest part of your football team this past year, and you had the sack leader in the NFL. Trey Hendrickson, of course, having 17.5 sacks this past season. So obviously, hopefully, everything continues to work itself out with Trey Hendrickson. But beyond that, you have to address that position, and I've got that as the number 1 need for me right now at this point. Number 2, I've got offensive line. Again, I've kind of gone back and forth. Could have put this at 100%. I totally get it. But think about all you've done this year. In this offseason, Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, massive deals, massive extensions. Joe Burrow, a couple years ago, massive deal, massive extension, right? In order for all that to work, you got to get some protection for number 9. Now, he has done a great job in his career of playing with guys that aren't, the best at playing their offensive line position. He has dealt with weak offensive lines in the past. But those guard spots, Cordell Volson and Cody Ford, all you have done in free agency is bring in Lucas Patrick. Obviously, you haven't traded for anybody either at that position. I feel really good about where you're at tackle-wise if they can stay healthy, but you got to figure out what to do there with the interior. Don't want Joe getting heated up like that from the interior of the pocket. Got to find a way to address it. Now, as I said, you had a lot on your plate this offseason, and this kind of got neglected a little bit in the offseason, and I don't have a problem with that, to be completely honest with you. Priority number 1 and 2 for me were Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins. You accomplished it. You checked it off. That should be celebrated. But in the meantime, you kind of neglected that offensive line position. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you. Now, you do have a new voice in that room with Scott Peters coming in as your new offensive line coach. Zach Taylor thinks very highly of him, obviously. I'm starting to really get on the Scott Peters train as well. But you got a new voice. You also got to get some new bodies in there as well, because this can't just be something kind of similar with the defense as well. Oh, we're just going to bring in a new coach, and that's going to fix all of our issues. Hopefully it fixes a lot of your issues, but you also just need new personnel as well. Cody Ford, proved to be a fine swing tackle, I guess, but he can't be a guy that goes out there and starts for you along the interior of your offensive line. It's got to get addressed, and hopefully Scott Peters can help develop the guy that they pick in the draft, and hopefully he can be ready to go at some point during this season. How many offensive linemen do you want to draft? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Bengals, of course, have 6 picks right now. Is there a number that you want? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Safety. Next up here for me for the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought last year your safety play was really bad, to be completely honest with you. You brought in Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens in free agency. I thought he had probably the worst year of his career here in Cincinnati. Now, maybe Al Golden can do a better job of utilizing his strengths a little bit more, something that maybe Lou Anarumo didn't do. But how many times would the corners get beat, which corners an issue too, which we'll get to in a minute, but then your safeties were getting beat over the top as well. They were missing tackles. They were taking bad angles. That seemingly was a theme, a reoccurring theme particularly in the beginning of the season. That's got to be addressed. And I've been adamant about this, that, hey, I want Cincinnati to go out there and get a new safety, either via the draft or free agency. And obviously they have not done it yet. I'm worried that Cincinnati's content running it back. It kind of feels like, they're just going to send Geno Stone back out there and still have a lot of belief in Geno Stone. When you hear guys like Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin talk, I do believe that is a mistake. There's two really good safeties here at the top end of this draft. Nika Mamwari and Malachi Starks, of course, as well. I think both those guys could be day one starters for you. Could come into your program, come into your organization, and immediately make an impact. One of them is probably going to be available at 17. Question is, do you take him or not? We'll continue with our show here in a minute. But first, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks, because today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. On Prize Picks, you can now mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. They also have the Flex Play here at Prize Picks. This is what we're rolling with as far as our season-long Flex Play goes for football, which obviously is several months away, going with the less than on Jared Goff passing yards, the less than on Travis Kelce receiving yards, and the less than on Jaden Daniels rushing yards. The beautiful thing about the Flex Play, you don't have to get all three of those correct. You can miss one and still have an opportunity to double your money. So download the app today and use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app, use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, kind of tying in with that safety position, right? Got to be better at that cornerback spot when you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals in 2025. Hopefully your guys that got hurt can come back and do really good stuff for you. I've got Dax Hill here at that nickel spot. Mike Hilton hasn't signed anywhere officially, but I would be shocked if he was back. Obviously, Hill coming off that significant injury with the ACL. Hopefully, he can get back to form. DJ Turner also was coming on strong before he fractured his clavicle against the Los Angeles Chargers. But it kind of feels like Cincinnati is running it back here at this cornerback spot, right? The cornerback room right now is full. You're bringing back Marco Wilson on a one-year deal who did some good third down stuff for you in limited spots. That's kind of like your veteran, and he's not even a veteran. He's still a young guy. I wanted a veteran over a draft here when I was talking about that cornerback position. I thought that was the route to go. You have so much youth in that cornerback room, and you're not even really for sure that you know how to draft corners at a high level. Again, it seems like Dax Hill, some guys are coming along. But bringing in another young guy to that room feels like a mistake. I really wanted a veteran. Yeah, didn't do it. You haven't done it yet. Still have some guys out there available on the open market that you could potentially sign, but I think veteran is probably the better route to go than draft pick, especially considering you only have 6 draft picks at this point. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you want to draft a cornerback? Sound off for us in the comments section. Type Y for yes or N for no. 2 more positions that we will get to here on today's show. First up is linebacker, right? Cincinnati has, made some moves at that linebacker spot. Bringing in Oren Burks in free agency, also signing Joe Giles Harris, who really is very much more of a special teamer, at this point. But Logan Wilson needs a running mate. I am very, very high on Logan Wilson. The past 2 years haven't been his best, but I think with Al Golden coming back, we're about to see the best year of Logan Wilson in 2025. He also was playing through injuries and ultimately had to sit out at the end of the season with those injuries. Al Golden can draft and develop here. This is different than the opposite of what I just said about the cornerback spot, right? Al Golden, his specialty is linebackers. Think about the linebacker play in 2021 when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Who was coaching those boys? It was Al Golden. He knows how to coach linebackers. If you get him one, right, if you take Jahad Campbell in the first round, he's going to be brilliant for you, right? And if you take one in the 3rd or 4th round or the 5th round or the 6th round, Al Golden's going to do a great job of developing. I would like to draft a linebacker, and I think he will butt into a guy that could perhaps be that running mate for Logan Wilson. Of course, assuming Jermaine Pratt is no longer with the team. Last one here is running back as far as team needs go for the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, you've made some adjustments to this running back room. You brought in Samaje Perine, brought him back. Obviously, he was most recently with Kansas City. And behind that, you got to have some question marks, right? You don't know exactly what's going to happen with Zach Moss. Is he a cut candidate? Is he not? And there's some other guys in that room, Chris Evans, right? And, of course, Travion Williams that aren't going to be back. So you have some depth that needs to be filled out at running back, but I'm conflicted on what to do here because the top end of your room, Chase Brown is an elite running back in the NFL. He's your RB1, no question about it. And you got your third down guy in Samaje Perine. So do you try just to kind of tackle the UDFA side of things for running backs, right? Does Kendall Milton develop into that guy that could potentially be your third running back if you don't have Zach Moss on your football team? That could all be a possibility, but this running back class is elite, right? When I look at the draft, it feels like kind of a weak draft, but the running back position, no, not weak at all. It is elite, but you only have 6 picks. And you've got lots of other bigger needs as well. And, I think drafting a running back certainly could be helpful. But, again, only have 6 picks, have lots of other positions of need. So I was kind of conflicted on what to do there. It'll be interesting to see if Cincinnati opts to take one in the draft or not.